Say 9 News at 6 starts with breaking news. Right now, crews are working to capture a black bear that has been wandering around Herndon, Virginia, having quite a time. Thanks for being here. I'm Leslie Foster. We've been following this all day long, and about 45 minutes ago, our cameras captured the bear finally coming down from one tree, but then it quickly ran off and found another one to climb. Our Katie Lusso is there at the scene tonight, and Katie, this bear has drawn quite the crowd.
It certainly has. His name is Eldon. He's about a year old, and he is having a time. He's been to Maryland. He's been to Northern Virginia. He was in McLean earlier. Now he is in Herndon. And as we speak, a Fairfax County Fire and Rescue truck is pulling up. We're thinking they must be here to put up a ladder. We can tell you that one of the Wildlife Resources officers actually went ahead and put on climbing gear. So at one point, we thought he was going to climb up there. We've seen one of the other officers holding that tranquilizer gun, getting ready for, Eldon to maybe come down. We know that he went a little bit higher up into the tree. You can see him up there in the tree. He's been throwing some branches around. Not really sure what he's doing up there, but he's obviously scared. He's had a whole day. And I can tell you that down below the tree, they inflated a bunch of garbage bags. I'm not sure if they're thinking that'll be a good cushion for him to land on, but he's been up there since around, in the last 45 minutes or an hour or so, he's been in this tree. But he's been in Herndon since around 1 o'clock, and what a crowd he has drawn out here. So many people out of their homes. They've never seen a bear before, especially here in Herndon. So they all want to see this. They've been watching. They're all rooting for Eldon at this point. At one point, we saw him come down, as you mentioned, out of that one tree, went behind a house here on Center Street and climbed up this tree here on Center Street, and that is where he has been for almost an hour now. And if you take a look, there is a whole crowd here. We obviously want to keep showing you Eldon, but take a look at this crowd. There's a whole group of people out here, and every time Eldon starts moving, you can hear the crowd gasp. They are rooting for this little guy. They're worried about him. They know he's been up there for a while. And the thing is, everyone's just trying to get him down safely. Herndon police have blocked off a lot of the area. They're keeping people back. At one point, an officer came over to us in the crowd and they said, listen, if he runs this way, do not pet him, do not touch him, do not talk to him. Just leave him alone. Let him do his thing. I can tell you he's also wearing a tracker, and that's how they know where he's kind of been on his little journey throughout the day. But again, right now we are watching Eldon up in the tree. The fire department is here. They're looking up at him. Not sure what the plan is at this point. We know they were going to shoot him with a tranquilizer and then hopefully bring him down safely. There is a cage over to my right a little bit, but right now we're kind of in the waiting game, seeing what's happening next as everyone tries to get Eldon safely down out of this tree. Leslie?
The people out there trying to capture one big old bear over there, and I was thinking, Katie, it probably makes sense to let some folks know who are wondering, why does he keep going from tree to tree? Well, we know they like trees because they like to get away from what they consider predators, and they may be looking for food, or they're trying to get away from ticks, or they're trying to leave their scent to communicate with other bears. Whatever he's doing, he seems to have outsmarted all of the folks that are on the ground, because he has been on the move for quite a while touring the DMV.
He certainly has. And, we're thinking at this point that he's probably scared up there. He's probably hungry. We heard from an officer earlier talking about he has been out wandering around for a while now. So he's got to be hungry. He's got to be thirsty. And he's definitely scared. There are a lot of people here. We've had fire trucks going by with sirens. That definitely scared him. You see him start to move a lot when he hears all that noise and commotion. But I can tell you, everyone down here on the ground, they are rooting for him. They want him to be safe and be okay. And they want him to be safely taken out of that tree. So that's what we're all kind of waiting to see what happens next.
Is it noisy out there with just people watching? I mean, you're there, you can see the cameras, I can hear the ambient sound of people talking, but is that also likely contributing to why he's up in the tree or moving to another tree?
I know that earlier they were trying to keep him in the tree until the wildlife resource officers could get here, because obviously they're the ones that are equipped to safely move him to a safer location. The crowd, has been silent at points watching. When he came down out of that tree, though, everyone was gasping, and we were all pushed back to get out of the way. But you have to wonder if that's kind of the reason he came down out of that tree, because he felt, hey, there's less people around. Maybe it's safe for me to come down out of this tree. But, we've seen him at points getting higher up into the tree, so you've got to imagine that he's probably scared up there. And if you can see right now, he seems to be messing around with the branches. I don't know if he's hungry or what he's doing, but he's been messing around with those branches up in the tree for quite a bit.
Or maybe he's just having a grand old time up there. All right, Katie, we'll let you keep watch there. You let us know if there's any additional movement for sure. I have to say, of all the days to pick, you picked a good one to be hanging out in the Herndon neighborhood. Nice and warm, nice and bright, and lots of activity.